Hello, dear students and all kinds of participants and those who are listening to me. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to warmly welcome you to this virtual lecture, that is online lecture presentation. And I would like to specially thank those who have been admitted to this Victoria Government College as newcomers of HSC sections, either science, commerce and arts. So all of you are warmly welcome by me. This is the traditional picture of Victoria Government College. As you can see from here, established 1899 during the reign of Queen Victoria. And I hope you are all well aware of this college and get a lot of valuable information about this. So I'm going to start off today's session. And with this, I'm going to start. So let's get started. Okay, welcoming you once again from my home. Dear students, I'm Mazharul Haq, Assistant Professor of English, Department of English, Victoria Government College. My email ID, mazhar.haq@gmail.com. So here you can see I will be conducting the session with one of your very important chapters. And let's see what I can do for you. So let's get started. Dear students, the topic of today's session, the unforgettable history. It is HSC English First Paper, Unit 1, Lesson 1, which is one of the most important talked of issue in the history of Bangladesh and also the history of whole world. And I hope you will get adequate and valuable information from my lecture. So let's get going and go to the next slide. Okay, you can see the two very significant and monumental picture of a very famous person, all you know, worldly acknowledged and recognized. So look at the photographs of Bangabandhu giving the 7 March 1971 historic speech and get some prior idea as what I would teach for you today. So perhaps you have got some sort of information. You have assumed that the topic that I will be talking about is well understood after looking at this picture. So dear students, let's go to the next slide. Okay, some more images of Bangabandhu delivering his historical speech at the racecourse premise or Maidan in Bengali. Filled, you can see the people are crowded, overcrowded, and he has been boldly delivering his most significant, prominent, and outspoken speech. Okay, now is the time to start off our real session. Okay, dear students, before I go, you will have to take a look at the pre-reading questions. These are very important. After looking at these pre-reading questions, you will get plethora of information, actually, detailed idea about the passage. You can talk about it with your partner, discuss it, share it. Even if you like, you can draft it at your own way. So look at the question. What do you know about Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman? Where is he giving speech? What was the time? What is the significance of the speech? Have you ever heard the speech? Where? These questions are specially uploaded or given to get some prior idea, advanced idea about the topic that I will be talking about. So dear students, let's get going and go to the next slide. There are some vocabularies and keywords for you to know beforehand. So let's have a look at them one by one. Unforgettable, it's an adjective. Memorable, remarkable. Awash, flooded, inundated. Assembly, council or board. Constitution, set of laws, code of laws. Regret, grief or remorse. Inflict, put down, impose. Agony, anguish, torment. Crimson, bloody, glory. Enslave, turn into slavery. Subjugate. And assume means imagine. You can see these words are at different parts of speech. Some of them are noun, adjective, and verb. All you need to know very well, because if you do not know the keywords or vocabularies in English, also in Bengali, it will be really very hard for you to get the real meaning from the passage. So I want you strongly to get the real meaning in English rather than in Bengali. Okay, let us go to the next slide for more of this. Negotiation, compromise, agreement, conciliation, declared, announced, published, proceeding, development or action, dissolve, dismiss, put a temporary stop, prorogue, defer or adjourn, specially used for Parliament Assembly, spontaneously, it's an adverb, automatically, voluntarily, firm, adamant, bold, defend, save, protect, external, exotic, outwardly, wretched, loser, destitute and miserable, downtrodden, oppressed, afflicted, mow down, kill a large number of people indiscriminately, or it can be called massacre, deprive, abandon, take away possessions from someone, dissolve, suspend or break off parliament sessions, spill, cause or allow blood or water to run or flow from containers. So you can see these words, there are a lot of even some more words which I didn't actually bring it here. I have tried to bring only the most important keywords for you to get a real idea of the passage. Okay, dear students, now is the time to move and go to the next slide. Okay, summary of the passage. Dear students, I have given the summary in order to get the real sense and taste of the paragraph, whole passage. It's not possible to read the whole passage because it is time consuming and I have shortages of time. So I have prepared this summary for you to get the adequate information and you can use it at your own practice. So let's read it. The passage gives an account of the historical lecture of Bangabandhu. Since the entire text is the monologue of Bangabandhu's speech, it is written in the first person point of view. Seeing the situation beyond limit, Bangabandhu thought it the real time to free our people. He narrated all the events in the historic March 7 speech. He first warned the West Pakistan President Yahya Khan to stop oppression. Oppression means actually torture. Let us go to the next slide. Summary is continued. But they continued to shed blood. They means the Pakistani soldiers and perpetrators. Then he had made a request to the people to convert every house into a fort or castle to encounter the enemies with their possessions at the risk of their life, even in his absence. Bangabandhu also requested all Bengalis to work shoulder to shoulder to defeat the oppressors at any cost and free their land. You can see in such a small periphery of summary, I tried to encompass the whole paragraph and tried to give you the taste of the real paragraph. And I have tried to actually collect the crux of the whole meaning and paraphrased the main idea of the paragraph. I hope it will be helpful for you. Dear students, let us go to the next slide. Okay, chronological overview of important dates in the historic speech. The chronology means the dates which are used in a hierarchical or orderly manner, one by one, beginning from the smallest to the highest. So let's start with 1958. Ayub Khan declared martial law to enslave the people of East Pakistan. In 1966, with the leadership of Bangabandhu, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the 6 Points movement became prominent. 1969, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman accorded a grand reception where he was given the title Bangabandhu on 23rd of February. 1970, the Pakistani general election was held on 7 December. 1971, which is one of the most important red letter day, important dates in the history of Bangladesh. The Operation Searchlight started on the night of March 25, particularly targeting Bengali nationalists, students, intellectuals, religious minorities, and armed personnel, and killed them indiscriminately. So all these dates are equally very, very important for you to get the idea of the historic 7th March, and Bangabandhu has actually mentioned all the dates and brought into a chain into this speech. Okay, dear students, now is the time. Moving on, going to the next slide. Okay, there are some specimen questions, which means that these questions will be helpful to get preparation for your final questions. You will be given 5 questions. 10 marks for that. So these sort of questions, comprehension questions, these are the specimens from which you will get information how to write answers and how to get the answer from the text and write it at your own words. First question. Which features of speech do you appreciate most and why? The starting point of the speech is touching because of Bangabandhu's love for the nation. The ending point is also touching because he made the whole nation brave enough to fight against the invading army of the then West Pakistan. You can see the answers are chosen according to your own words. I mean, I have tried to use my own word, nothing brought from the book blindly, nothing copied, just paraphrased the main idea. Number 2, what are the two main parts of this historic speech? One of the major parts of the speech is presenting before the nation the faults and atrocities perpetuated by the then West Pakistanis. The second part is to make the whole nation inspired enough to start final fight against the perpetrators. Perpetrators means are the people who torture the people, I mean torturers who go against the main flow of the people, and those who liaise or make liaison with the enemies. Okay, dear students, now is the time. Moving on, going forward. Okay, rest of the two questions now. Why does Bangabandhu say that the 23 years of our history with Pakistan is a history of repression and bloodshed? It's also said because during the whole period, Bengalis were repressed and they had to shed blood on nominal excuses. Nominal means for simple reasons. Last question. How do you differentiate between the struggle of freedom and the struggle for emancipation? Struggle for freedom is to free the nation from others' clutches, and struggle for emancipation is to stop all kinds of deceptions. So within these 4 questions, I have tried to cover all the many and try to manipulate and cover all the main ideas of the paragraph. And in your final exam, you will be given this sort of questions. My earnest request to you is to get the idea from the passage and paraphrase it at your own words to get good marks. So moving on, go to the next slide. Okay, message of the whole text. It is not possible to read the whole text line by line or read between the lines. So I'm going to give you the message or main theme of the whole paragraph. The 20th century witnessed a lot of nationalist movements which gave birth to many independent states. All these nationalist movements were led by some charismatic leaders who could convince, organize, and motivate people by their character, speech, and wonderful leadership. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was one of them. He was such a leader who opened the eyes of the East Pakistani people about their right and led them towards independence. And East Pakistanis are, of course, the then Bangladeshis and the then Bengalis. He could ignite the light of the national spirit among the people by his public speaking capacity and heart-rending speech. He truly had the gift of the gab as well. And for this reason, he was called the uncompromising leader of the world. Okay, dear students, we are going to the next slide, and this is the rest of the message. His historic speech of the 7th March 1970 is often considered as one of the most influential speeches over the world. UNESCO recognized the 7th March speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as part of the world's documentary heritage in 2017. These lessons shed light on the historical importance of that speech. This lesson sheds light on the historical importance of the, sorry, I have repeated. An extensive historical background of the speech will also be demonstrated based on the documents of the Liberation War of Bangladesh and other reliable sources. This study shows that the 7th March speech of Bangabandhu paved the way for the independence of Bangladesh in 1971, and why not, it's true, his speech is monumental, historic, and time-worthy speech has surpassed everything. And for this reason, it has inspired the Bengali people, and still it has been inspiring the whole nation into a unit, and that is why his speech has been one of the talked of issues of the whole world. So dear students, this is the end of my presentation. I hope you have enjoyed listening and watching this video. I hope also that you have got adequate information about this chapter. Now it's your turn to practice the whole exercises one by one and get numerous valuable information which could be helpful for you to get yourself prepared for the final exam. And with this, I'm gonna thank you for listening and watching this video. Thank you very much. If you have any query regarding this video, don't hesitate to email me. I have given at the very first slides of this presentation. And with this, I'm gonna conclude this session. Thank you.